Now we come to unit conversion. Everything we have studied in this chapter so far boils down to this. This is where we are going to apply our knowledge of significant figures, our understanding of how to take measurements, our knowledge of the rules of significant figures operations, addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, and we'll put all of it together and start solving problems. In this chapter, we are going to solve very basic problems, but later on in the coming chapters, we are actually going to apply unit conversion methods to solving actual problems in chemistry. The kind of problems we are going to solve in this chapter are converting from one unit to another within the same system, which means converting, let's say, in the metric system from one metric unit to another metric unit. For example, converting from kilometers to meters or kilometers to micrometers. And also for another place where we will apply our conversion factors is to convert from one system to the other, such as from English to metric or from metric to English. So converting centimeters, which is part of the metric, to inches is a conversion from one unit to the other unit. Unit conversion method, here called the factor label method, is also called dimensional analysis method. We solve problems not by looking at numbers and thinking about what to do with numbers, but our judgment of what to do to the numbers will be based on analyzing the dimensions. And by dimensions, it means units. Trying to cancel out units where they should be canceling out and keeping the unit that we want. Let's see how to proceed with this. First, let's say that we want to convert from gallons to quarts, and the first thing we need is the relationship between the gallon and the quart. Either you have memorized this or you are given this information, and the relationship is that 1 gallon equals 4 quarts. 1 gallon equals 4 quarts. Once you have written down the relationship, you will then write down the conversion factor. Every relationship has two conversion factors, where you would place one of the side of the relationship as a numerator and the other side as a denominator, and then you would flip it. So you have 1 gallon over 4 quarts or 4 quarts over 1 gallon. One of these two conversion factors is what you will use based on the details of the problem. So let's look at a problem and keep these two conversion factors in mind. Convert 12 gallons to quarts. Okay, so 12 gallons we want to convert to quarts. We know the relationship 1 gallon equals 4 quarts, and here is that relationship conversion factor. As I said, you will be using one of these two. The one that you will be using will give you your final dimensions or units in quarts, cancelling out the gallon part. So remember, what's the data given? 12 gallon, and you will multiply your data that's given to you in the problem by one of these two conversion factors. Which one will it be? You want to multiply it with the the conversion factor which cancels out the gallon part and keeps the quart part, which is the answer you want. So look at this two and tell me which one you will use. If you said the second one, then you are right, because when you multiply 12 gallons by 4 quarts over 1 gallon, the gallon in the numerator and this gallon in the denominator will cancel each other out. Okay, as you see here, and the final answer is 48 quarts. Now, how many sig figs should you have in this answer? The number of sig figs depends on all the sig figs in our original numbers. Now, how many sig figs are here? 2 sig figs. But what about here in this relationship? 1 gallon over 4 quarts. Well, these are exact numbers because this relationship is not a measurement, it's an established relationship that 1 gallon is broken into 4 quarts. So these are exact numbers with infinite number of sig figs, so we do not count them, and so the only sig figs we count is here, and we have those here as 2 sig figs with 48 quarts. Let's look at more examples. Converting 360 feet to miles. So we will be multiplying 360 feet by one of the two conversion factors based on the relationship between feet and mile. 5,280 feet equals 1 mile. Which one would you pick between these two? You would pick the second one, because that's what will cancel out the feet, and show the work is shown here, and the feet cancel out, we get miles. Here are two sig figs, and these are exact, and so here we have 0.068 miles. Now let's look at a metric conversion, kilograms to milligrams. Some of you may have known the relationship between how many kilograms are there in a milligram or how many milligrams are there in a kilogram, but most of us do not know such information. In that case, we are going to have more than one conversion. We'll convert our kilograms to grams, and we studied that in a previous slide. How is a kilogram related to gram? 1 kilogram equals 10 to the 3 grams, and then we'll convert our grams to milligrams. How are grams and milligrams related? Well, 1 gram equals 10 to the 3 milligrams. So we have, for each of these two relationships, we have two conversion factors, of which we will choose. First converting kilograms to grams, and then converting grams to milligrams. So we are given this data 0.0047 kilograms. Multiply that with one of these two, which will give us the grams. Which one will you multiply it with? You will multiply it with the second one, which will cancel out the kilograms, and you will get your grams. Once you have your grams, you will choose between these two and multiply it with that. Which one will you choose? That gram cancels out and you get your final answer of milligrams. You will choose the second one here as well. The grams will cancel out. So here is that work. First we multiply it with the conversion factor having to do with grams and kilograms, with grams in the numerator. We get 4.7 grams as our answer to two sig figs, and then we multiply it with the next portion on the next conversion factor where grams cancels out, and we get our answer in milligrams. And these are exact, 1 and 1000, and these are also exact, 1 and 1000th. And so the only sig figs that are present are in the original number 0.0047 kilogram, and we have two sig figs in our final answer. Alternatively, now you could have stacked all the conversion factors, and this is my preferred way of doing it. Here you see how stacking them clearly shows how units are cancelling out. This kilogram and this kilogram cancels out, this gram and this gram cancels out. In this example, we have stacked two conversion factors next to each other. In later chapters, we may stack as many as 5 conversion factors to reach our final answer with our final unit. Now, when you set it up this way, which is my preferred way of doing it, and you are trying to solve it in the calculator, what you want to do is put parentheses around each of these numbers. Open parenthesis, close parenthesis, open parenthesis, close parenthesis, open parenthesis, and close parenthesis. That will guarantee that all the operation take place in the right order, and you will get your final answer the way it should be.